Hello, my name is Joanne. You're Joanne Has Stamps video. Today I'm going to show you how I mount my stamps to the album pages. First, you need to have some stamps. And I got some over here. They're from Norway. And I put these in a hingeless stamp holder. And I cut the size. Some people use a guillotine to cut their stamp hinges. I just use a pair of scissors, sharp scissors, mind you, to cut them straight along the edge of the stamp. I have pretty good dexterity, so I can make a nice square cut. Then we're going to put it in the stamp album. Now, I use Elmer's glue, and other people just wet the back, or they, that's all they do is wet the back. I don't think I've seen any other ways of doing it. But I use Elmer's glue, and I'll show you how to use it. First, get some glue up. Apply it to the stamp. At first, I just do the middle, and then I do the edges. If you kind of go down at the edges, you're getting a more coverage. You don't want to do this. That'll put too much adhesive on the edges. Then you take it and you apply it to your stamp album. And press it down firmly. And that's it. Using Elmer's glue is so good that right now I can take it and I can pull on it and it won't come off. That's how good it is. Oops, I moved the stamp. Isn't that crazy? Okay, let's do another one so you get an idea. Now, one thing I do, I don't know if other people do this, but on the stamp album that I'm getting pages from, or stamps from, is there may be stamps in it that are just hinged with hinges. What I do is I take my tweezers and I put it up to the edge of the hinge, and I just work it across and take it off. There. You'll hardly notice it's there, but it's there. And in this condition, I don't mind it at all. I just put it in my collection and let it be. Now, if it was we call it a mint stamp with gum, I would treat it a little bit nicely. I use stamp lift fluid to get the hinge off. Now this one isn't 36 millimeters, it's more like 27. So we're going to use a 27. Drop it, got the dropsies, I'll drop it here. Put that one away. Okay, let's see if we got the right stamp hinge. By the way, I'm using stamp hinges from Mystic Stamps. They got a pretty good product. I haven't had any issues with them, and it's a good company to buy from. Let's see. This stamp doesn't fit and needs to go larger. So I got a 29 millimeters. If you're wondering where I'm getting my stamp mounts from, there they are right there. I got mounts. I keep in this container, I keep various mounts from 44, 41, and up to 60. And also 25, 27, 29, 32, 33, 34, 35, 38. Got a lot of small ones here. I also got a magnifying glass to look at you. Dun, dun, dun. And some bigger stamp mounts. This one's 66 millimeters, 73 millimeters, 105 millimeters. They're really big 215 millimeters. I think this is 61 millimeters and 215 long. Anyway, I got a bunch of those, and normally in this box I keep my my loop. I use a loop to look at fine details on a stamp to verify them, because some stamps have a very, very small alteration, or what you may call it, imperfection maybe, or just they were produced in a certain way, and this will help you find find that spot. Like you might have a leaf that's going over a number, like in the Washington stamps, a leaf that's going over a number, and there's shading underneath it compared to the other leaf. When you look at them, they look the same, but if you use a high power magnifier, you can look at it and get better detail and better idea of what stamp it is. And I got my tweezers. You've seen me use those. Now let's check to see if this stamp hinge is a 29 millimeter. Here we go. Here we go. There, it fits perfectly. Look at that. And we'll cut it to size. So you can cut it perfectly. And we'll get our adhesive. Elmer's glue. And here's the technique for putting that on. Put it on in the middle. slip it over the sides to get the edges. There. That's good. I don't know if you can see it, but along this edge here, there isn't any adhesive on it because it's just the way that it's applied. Now I'm putting these stamps in a Scott album from a Scott album. I got all the pages up to 1995. 1995. And then I go into the semi-postal and I think the airmail stamps. Oh, here you go. I got some there. All I got is official stamps that are in the back of the book. Now this is Scott paper, or a Scott album, and I have a Scott album that I'm taking them from. I mean, there's all kinds of stamps in here. Check this out. I recognize those. I got these stamps right here. I just cut them out of this album. One to one. I got this one too. I don't have this one. I got this one. So as you can see, I got a lot of stamps to look through. And these stamps are going into my binder. Now you might ask, why don't I just take these stamps and put them in my binder and take the paper that's, or the page that's in the my binder and throw it away. Well, the problem I have with that is I want to look at every stamp and I want to inspect it and make sure it's okay. And the only, I like to look at them, make sure they're okay, and then put them in the album. Plus, I get to know the stamp more personally, I guess you can say, by looking at it much closer. Now, this one here looks about to be 29. So that's this one. Here's the stamp hinges again. Let's see if this fits. Nope, it doesn't. It goes up more up to maybe a 33. So it's not a 29. It's not a 36. Let's try 33. Nope, it's too big. Or the stamp's too big. So 33, I'm going to go 36 on this one. And we have some short 36s in there. Take my scissors and cut the size. Even if I cut it to size and I don't get it perfectly in this little whoop-de-doo in there, or going down, or just not perfectly square, I really don't mind that. It looks good in the album anyway. And okay, put a glue in the middle on the edges. Remember, you want to stay away from the cut in the middle so you don't get this stuff on the stamp. And another good thing about this glue is you don't have to worry about water getting into or on the stamp. And I've come across those quite a bit in my my short history here. And let's see, you look at the stamp here. If the stamp gets wet, if you put the stamp on and there's water on the edge of the stamp where this cut is, oh, excuse me, I'm talking about something different. Negate what I said. I was talking about the regular glassine hinges. If you get too much water on it, it might seep into this crack here and get on your stamps, and that'll just totally destroy your stamps because it has adhesive on it. Plus, it looks like a good way to keep your stamps, but I find it sloppy. I don't like that. I like them nice and clean and with a nice background. Sorry about me talking as I'm going along. I stop and think about what I'm going to say for a couple of seconds. You know, I'll talk like that. It's just something I do. And plus, doing a video broadcast, I've never done one, so I'm kind of at a disadvantage here. Alright, this one's the 60 Oro blue and gray, number 377. I'm going to put this in there. Can use a small one. and put it in the binder. And I'm all set. Well, I want to thank you for visiting my channel and watching this video. I'm an amateur when it comes to videos, so be gentle with your criticism. And thank you for coming to Joanne Has Stamps. Bye.